Hello my friends, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. It's been a long time. I have not been playing this, only because it usually takes me about 3 hours to finally enjoy whatever I've designed and be happy with it. I'm really a stickler about the way things look, and usually trash half the things that I make. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the game, and I will show you a few launches, very unsuccessful launches, of a space carrier that I attempted to create. I based it off of a drawing that I made at work today, and I thought it turned out pretty good, but let's just say there were some balance issues, and I attempted to take care of that with a later design. So here is the launch. So here's the first launch that I was working on. It didn't go so well, but here I'm checking out like all of my staging and seeing that I have several things in the wrong place. So right before I launch, I obviously have to fix those. And launch. As you can see, I am already way too top heavy, and I'm trying to pull it back, but it's just not happening, unfortunately. I do like the design a lot too, so I'm really upset that it was so top heavy. And there I list off to the side. Not a good start at all. There was no pulling out of this one. I think I realized that. And here's the next one. I tried to fix it by adding a few more SAS units to the boosters and thought that maybe that would work. It worked for a little while, but you'll see I had similar problems. Here we're going pretty good, pretty good. Eventually, yeah, I start checking my fuel. And wait for it. Yep, as soon as I drop those SAS units, I just flip out of control, and there was nothing I could do about it. Now I thought, okay, let's go bigger and badder. And so I added more SAS units and more boosters. I was thinking maybe I could get out of the atmosphere, and that would help me out so where I wouldn't have to worry about the balance issues. There I am dumping the first SAS units along with the boosters. Everything's going good for a little while here. And I was gaining enough altitude that I was really positive this was going to work. I was just simply waiting to get out of the atmosphere and into orbit. And I thought I had enough fuel and power behind this thing to do that. Here I am checking my altitude. And I'm just trying to wait. I usually try and wait till about 80, but I was not very confident I would make it that far. I'm also trying to make sure that it's keeping on balance, because with those two boosters and it being off-centered, I was pulling really hard on the controls to keep this to where it wasn't going crazy. And right there, as soon as I jettisoned those, it destroyed several of my engines, and there was just no saving this. I even tried disabling that one, and no saving this design. So I basically had to start from scratch, even though I really, really liked the way this looked. I had huge bays and everything that I could have stored whatever I wanted in. Here is the next design. I tried to go for a more balanced one with fighter bays on the side instead. I also gave it a crap ton of boost potential, just to make sure that if my engines weren't powerful enough out in orbit, the smaller engines on the craft, at least I had enough fuel to get it into a stable orbit. And we're going pretty good here for a while. I was noticing though that the fuel wasn't draining quite right. I believe I tried to correct the error. wait for it. I think I throttled down right about... where was it? Here? Yeah. You can tell I'm lowering the thrust. And I thought this would be good to go, and throttled back up again. And made the mistake of turning and just not having enough SAS to keep me stable. I could have added larger wings and that might have helped, but it would have been a pain to balance all that out. So here I am making another attempt with the same design. And I thought from some of my fixes in the VAB that this one would be good to go over the other. You can hear me throttling back like a crap ton just to save fuel, because all those boosters gave me like a crap ton of power. Pretty much just waiting right here. And I had my fingers crossed because I did not want to go through the whole design process. I even added like weapons, all this nice lighting to it. It was a pretty awesome design. Yeah, just going slow and steady. And as far as I could tell, I was good to go. I did not think that this one would fail me in any way. Still looking pretty good. Now the cat's trying to get in the video. He thinks that he can record too. No, get back, bud. But eventually here I'll jettison these fuel tanks, and I totally screwed that up on my own. I didn't even have to worry about the design of the craft. So this was my final attempt before something strange happened with this creation. Again, I thought I was good to go, but for some reason fuel was not draining out of the solid rocket, or the booster stage, the way it should have. So I was trying to identify the problem, like looking at all the boosters and seeing what was going on, making sure that I had my control on the unmanned control module. Eventually I find out that one of them, yeah, that one right there, it's using up way more fuel than it should be using. So I thought I'd be smart and just wait until it was almost done and then throttle down and eject all of those outer not working boosters. And here I'm checking just to see, and wait until the fuel's almost gone. I thought this would work. And it seemed to, and I had a little explosion which I didn't really pay attention to. But then out of nowhere, the game was like, nope, we're not letting you do this. And that was a catastrophic failure. I had no clue what was happening there. I ended up finding out that one of the missiles I had installed on the bottom of the craft somehow fell off and just blew everything up. So I went back into the VAB to try and load the design again and work on it a little bit more, and then Kerbal Space Program decided to totally destroy the saved vehicle. It was not loading worth a damn. I had a weird fuel line just sitting there that I couldn't mess with. All of the staging was messed up, and I couldn't click on anything. So unfortunately, it's just part of the part of the gameplay. Like, you install a bunch of mods, sometimes they screw up your save. I was trying to see if maybe I could recover it by adding another pod, but it wouldn't attach anywhere. It was almost like the vessel was there, but not there. Like I was supposed to make another ship, and it didn't recognize that that ship was in the actual game itself. So at this point, I'm getting really frustrated, trying to load the ship again, and it basically duplicated two of them. You'll see the staging ends up like going all the way up to the top of the screen. Yeah, and at this point, I'm pretty much done. I was like, the designs, I was making them look awesome and really wanted these things to be successful and fly. But I think adding the weapons mod really kind of screwed up the game because it's not made right now for this version. So I just quit out of this. It was like, damn, what am I going to show these guys? I got to have something that works. So I quit out of this new free save. It was basically a sandbox game I had created to just make a cool ship, and went into my MMFT save. And this is a ship that I made a long time ago. I thought it'd be really cool. It's a drone carrier for a rescue ship. And it actually turned out better than I could have hoped. You gotta wait for it to load. And here it is. I like the unusual design that I created here. It's got atomic rocket engines on it for better fuel efficiency, as well as the two ships on the side, which eventually I'll get it around here. There we go. These two specialized ships that are also off-centered, but I had to do that purposely because they are made to vertically take off and land from the moon. You can see I've got two of them on each side, and this center area right here is the actual drone carrier ship. And these craft are pretty decent design. I'll try and figure out how to get these off of here. I've got multiple docking ports set up so that these things are on this craft like really solid. I can like move this thing around and jiggle it and wobble it, and there's no problem. Hold on. Why is this not coming off? Okay, maybe. No. Yeah, no. One of these docking ports is messed up. You can see I've got some back here too. Ah, there we go. What about this one? Good. Come on. It's still not separating into two craft. Maybe I made this attach way too well. Yep, still one craft. Give me 1 minute. I made this far too capable. Okay, there we go. Now we got it free. But yeah, I like this little fighter craft. I tried to give it as much of as many mission capabilities as possible. It's got plenty of RCS control. I think enough RCS fuel to be able to get it wherever it needs to go and dock with anything. I put special headlights on it and landing / docking lights on it. I really like these skid landing pads. These they're pretty interesting when you use these to land because they almost work kind of like if you were to make an aircraft, but they land quite well on the moon. Here's a round view. I used this round tank on the back because I thought it was just an interesting idea. And here we've got the landing lights. I also put 6 engines, which I shrank down to half size for vertical landing on the moon. And here you can see how all the resources that just this craft is capable of holding. And because it's a robotic craft, like you can easily fly this to a stranded Kerbal and get him off of the moon, no problem. Here's the carrier craft. Like just by itself, it's pretty good. I also put these storage boxes on it to add like extra items for the Kerbal attachment system. I got 4 of them on here. I really like the Kerbal attachment system because if you forget something, you can always save yourself and go back and reattach it. But let's get this guy back on here before he floats away. You can tell he's pretty agile too. I use the let's light this up. I use the putting a SAS in every axis, the X, Y, and Z axis, to make sure that these things are pretty good. Here I have a fuel connector, which I don't remember. Did I put one on here? I think well, no, maybe I didn't. That's what those Kerbal attachment system boxes are for, in case I forget something. I need to make sure to put one down around here. That way I can easily refuel these guys. Well, you really don't have to worry about it though. When they're docked, you can just right click and move the fuel wherever you need it. I like the fuel ports too though. So let's get this guy back on here. You'll see how solid the docking is with these. There's hardly any wobble or anything. That once they attach, they're on there. That's why they're so hard to get off. One thing too I've realized practicing with docking procedures is you absolutely need patience. Right here, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm lined up. Hold on, let's see. If yep, a little bit more speed. Try and get this a little bit faster, but not too fast. All right. Yeah, usually when I am docking, I try and like line up like one axis and then get the next one and make sure my rotation is good. And I've made sure that the lights are positioned just right so that even if I was on the dark side of the moon, I could still like see where I'm going and get everything lined up properly. It's really important to do that too. Coming in. Almost there. Like I can already feel the pull of the magnets from these docking ports. And come on. Come on. Right. There we go. Good stuff. Touchdown. And this is it. This is what I have. I promise I'll do better than this next time. But until then, please like and share. And if you could, subscribe to my channel. And I appreciate the views and the comments. Maybe I'll launch this thing off on a mission to rescue a Kerbal in the next episode. I'll have to get Jebediah up to something. I'll crash him on the moon somehow. Yep, but until then, I'll see you guys later. Appreciate it.